Michael Gove has refused the EU's demands that Britain should accept the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice, saying it is an affront to the democratic principle. The Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster appeared in the Commons to update the House on Brexit negotiations. He replied to a question from his Labour counterpart, Rachel Reeves, about safeguarding the security of British citizens. The sticking point of granting the EU access to British waters was also covered by Mr Gove. Referring to the ongoing Brexit negotiations with the EU, Mr Gove said, "It is possible to make progress on a suite of arrangements to safeguard the security of British citizens. But one thing that we cannot do is accept the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice. We voted to be an independent nation and we must honour that decision. Democracy is more important than any other principle." Yesterday Boris Johnson settled on an end of July deadline for a UK-EU trade deal. But the situation of fishing rights to UK waters and the role of the European Court of Justice in British affairs is still causing consternation. However, the UK and EU negotiating teams agreed on pressing ahead with a new momentum. On the current state of talks between the UK and the bloc, the Prime Minister remained in positive spirits. He added he had urged the EU to put a tiger in the tank of the talks. However, Charles Michel, the President of the EU Council, agreed that new energy should be pumped back into that talks but warned that the bloc would fight to ensure that British companies would have to compete with European rivals on a level playing field. He tweeted the EU would not buy a pig in a poke. Mr Johnson is desperate to break the current Brexit impasse. He said there is no reason why the outline of a Brexit deal cannot be sealed by the end of July. Referring to the European Courts of Justice being a factor of the British judiciary post-Brexit, the Prime Minister said that the UK cannot have a system wherein continues to obey EU laws. Speaking yesterday, the Prime Minister said, "We can't have the involvement of the European Courts of Justice in this country." Describing the current state of the talks he added, "We are not really that far apart. What we need to see now is a little bit of oomph."